Hello, my name is Pat Bohse, and welcome to SCAN. SCAN stands for Social Community Activities Network, and we've been providing services in Monmouth and Ocean counties for the last 28 years, and we're located in the Monmouth Mall. It is my pleasure to introduce Alicia Williams, a managing attorney for Southern Jersey Legal Services, sorry about that, who will be talking about services that they provide to low-income individuals in Monmouth County. So again, welcome.
Thank you.
I haven't had the pleasure of meeting you before, so I'm really happy that you're here. And I've heard about the services that you've been providing to the community for the last year or so.
We've been in Monmouth and Ocean counties for the last year or so, but South Jersey Legal Services has been around for over 45 years.
Wow. So we're in good hands.
Yes.
Okay. So before we get talking about the services you provide, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you come to our table today?
Sure. I've been practicing law for about 17 years. In the last 15 years, I've been representing low-income individuals, first in Union County and Hudson and Essex counties, and now I'm happy to be here in Monmouth County.
And we're happy to have you. So tell us a little bit about Southern Jersey Legal Services. I'm not sure why I can't get that out.
Well, we represent, like I said, low-income individuals as legal services offices do throughout the state. We represent 9 counties, residents that reside in 9 counties, in various types of civil litigation cases that tend to be prevalent in the low-income population. So a lot of housing cases, a lot of disputes with welfare, the local boards of social services regarding the amount of welfare cash benefits they're getting, food stamps, things of that nature. We also do a lot of cases for seniors. We do receive a grant from the Monmouth County Office on Aging, so we assist a lot of the seniors in drafting wills and powers of attorney, advance directives, things of that nature.
So how does one become eligible for your services?
Well, as far as the seniors, we have regular visits to most of the senior centers in the county where they can make an appointment if they want to speak with an attorney, and they meet with us privately and we discuss their issue. If it's something that we can help with, we do have someone from our intake unit contact them to determine their eligibility. Generally, for non-seniors, there is a financial eligibility requirement, which is between 125 and 150% of the federal poverty level. But for seniors, the grant allows us to accept individuals with a slightly higher income level.
So now that I'm more proficient in the 150 income level, I mean, we're talking about, dollars under $20,000 that someone makes.
Absolutely. Most of our clients are either getting supplemental security income, SSI, Social Security disability or retirement, or are receiving welfare benefits, unemployment. All of those are usually well below the $20,000 a year.
Yeah. Recently, we've been working with some grants and have to get really proficient in understanding that whole language as far as income eligibility. But it's really wonderful that they have a service available in regards to getting good direction. I mean, I have to tell you today, I received a call this morning for someone asking if we provided legal services, and so I did make a referral to you.
Okay, great, great.
So I'm not sure what her situation was or her concern, but it's really wonderful to be able to give good information out. I mean, SCAN isn't a social service agency, but we do information and referral, and so the more we know about who's in the community and what you provide, the better off we are to help our members and the general public. So we're excited that you're here today.
Yeah, we get a lot of referrals from local agencies as well as from the courthouse, and people, we got our name out there pretty well since we've been here in the last year.
So talk a little more about what the kinds of cases you handle, whether it's for the general public or for seniors specifically.
The vast majority of requests that we get for non-seniors are in the area of housing.
Okay.
So we do a lot of defending tenants and landlord-tenant eviction cases. We do a lot of disputes with social services regarding food stamps, emergency assistance, even rental assistance that sometimes social services has their own rental assistance program. We do a lot of those types of cases. We also assist with debt collection matters and domestic violence cases as well. We do help people that are trying to get restraining orders. We do represent victims of domestic violence as well.
So in some of those cases, do you work with Family and Children's Services as far as Adult Protective Services?
We haven't had occasion to meet with them, to work with them. We've received a couple of referrals, and we assist where we can, but we haven't done that much collaboration with those particular
agencies. And Affordable Housing Alliance, do you work with them?
Yes, we're very familiar with them. Unfortunately, because we get a lot of the landlord-tenant stuff, and a lot of it is people that have just fallen behind in their rent, and we don't provide financial assistance, but we sometimes do refer them to Affordable Housing Alliance so that they can possibly get some help getting caught up.
They're going to be a guest on the show in the near future because I too was just so amazed at all the kinds of programs they have available for rental assistance and utility assistance and
They're
stuff like that.
They're a great referral source.
Yeah,
we
so that's
people to them a lot.
And so for seniors, what are some of the basic or most frequent kinds of requests?
The biggest requests are for wills, powers of attorney, and advance directives. So when we go out and we meet with the senior centers, a lot of times they come in and they just say, I want a will, and then when you talk to them for a little while, then they say, well, I heard something, what's a living will? And then once you explain that to them, they said, okay, well, that's something I would be interested in too. So for the seniors, the majority are in that area.
So for our listening audience, let's maybe go over those three pieces in regards to, so what is a will?
Well, a will, which I think most people are very familiar with, is once you've passed on what your wishes and desires are, who you want to be able to handle your estate, who you want to be the beneficiaries of what you leave behind. That's generally, in a nutshell, what a will is.
And so we had talked prior to the show, and it's amazing how many people don't have wills.
Yes, very surprising, very surprising.
So what happens if you pass and you don't have a will and you have assets? How does that work?
Things then end up in the hands of the state, and then they have to kind of probate and see what's going on there, which is not preferable. A lot of times that leads to a lot of infighting and things like that. So it's much better off if you have assets. Or even a lot of people think they don't have anything when in fact they do, that they don't realize. A lot of the seniors we meet say, well, do I really need a will? I'm in public housing, I don't own a house, but it's best for everyone to have a will. If you have children, if you have anybody that may be looking to get anything from you or that you have desires to leave things to, it's always best to have a will. And if they contact us, there's no charge for our services.
And the other thing about having a will is, again, I'm not sure if it's in a will or it's in the living will in regards to your last wishes, in regards to being whatever you have, or is that in a will or is that in a living will?
That's usually in a living will. Yes. So if a person is unable to communicate, they are incapacitated and they can't express what their desires are, whether they want to be resuscitated, how long they wish to be on oxygen, things of that nature, who they want to be able to make medical decisions for them should they become incapacitated or unable to communicate, those are the types of things that are in a living will.
And so we're encouraging people to have that, just because having a family member make that final decision, they have to live with that forever.
Right. And a lot of times people with adult children don't agree on what they want for their loved one. And so if it's documented and it's in writing what you want, it just makes everyone's life a whole lot easier.
Yeah, so I'm going to really encourage lots of people to have that. My husband had to make that decision for his mom, and there was not a living will, and so that really just stays with him all of these years. So I'm encouraging people to do that.
Yeah.
And then the other is power of attorney, or how does that work?
The power of attorney is if you want someone else to be able to handle business for you, to be able to access your bank accounts, access your information, sometimes even communicate with your landlord or other people, because a lot of times, especially in this age of privacy and confidentiality, you may think that you can have your adult son or daughter contact someone on your behalf and do something, but if they don't have the authorization from you to be able to do that, they're not gonna be able to do it. So the power of attorney helps with that. Mostly we find that people use the power of attorney to have other people do their banking, do their financial their financial business for them.
And then usually, often I hear, though, as far as people being fearful of doing power of attorney, like they lose control. But there's different kinds of powers of attorney.
The power of attorney gives very specific rights. You can make it as detailed or as open as you want, and the power of attorney can be revoked at any time.
Okay.
So it's not like some other types of documents that you can't revoke once it's drafted. Certain types of trusts and things like that are irrevocable. A power of attorney can be revoked at any time.
So that, I mean, you just gave us a whole lesson here in the 3 documents that we all should have, and really encourage people to do that. So in Monmouth County, do you receive requests for assistance in a particular area more than others, besides housing?
Besides housing, I would say debt collection.
Okay.
Debt collection, we get a lot of calls, and debt collection is an area that we just opened up our services to in the last couple of months because we saw there was an increased need for it. Initially, we weren't assisting in that area, but we were getting a high volume of requests for that area, so we did open up our intake to debt collection. You know, unfortunately, it's just a sign of the times. A lot of people, you know, are unable to pay their credit card bills, and they have to choose between paying rent or paying a credit card bill or paying for medicine or, you know, whatever it is. And so a lot of times the bills are what fall behind. And a lot of times, especially with our clients, they're judgment proof. And what I mean by that is that if all you collect is SSI or Social Security Disability, even if a creditor gets a judgment against you for a debt, they can't touch your Social Security collect on the debt.
Okay.
It's exempt funds.
Okay.
And so a lot of people, just hearing that gives them peace of mind, because they think, oh my goodness, I'm relying on my Social Security to survive, and now they're suing me for this unpaid credit card, and they're going to take my Social Security. So a lot of times, once we tell them that those are exempt funds, a creditor can't touch it to collect on the debt, that alone, that information alone just gives a lot of people peace of mind.
So now that's the 4th piece of information that you shared with us today. That is really wonderful, because I do think a lot of people are fearful of that, to the point where they ignore it.
Yes.
Or just hoping that it's going to go away,
Yes.
versus dealing with it and saying that I can or I can't, or this is how much I can do or provide to you.
Right. Very often we have people come in with bags of unopened mail from a creditor because they just didn't want to deal with it. And then when they get something from the court, they say, okay, well, this is probably something I should open, or
Yeah.
maybe I need to talk to
Serious.
someone. So, yeah, but absolutely. Avoidance is not the way to go when it comes to it. It's not going to go away.
Yeah. So if someone wanted to get in touch with you and or your agency, how do they do that?
They would call our centralized intake unit, and that number is 1-800-496-4570, and there are representatives there Monday to Friday from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. So that would be the first step to determine their eligibility. If they're determined to be eligible, then the intake unit would send it over to the local office in Freehold, and an attorney would contact them.
Okay. And as far as time between putting a request in and hearing from someone, is there a period of time?
Normally what intake tells people is you'll get a call within 7 to 10 days.
Okay.
Our turnaround time is usually within 3 days. We try to
Wonderful.
get back to people.
That's exciting, especially because, you know, making that call, they had to think about that really
Yeah.
hard.
Yes.
And to wait, you know, a long period of time or longer than they consider to be appropriate gets them probably a little more nervous.
Right. And then if people call with an emergent matter, like they're getting evicted in, you know, the next week or so, we usually try to call them back within, you know, 24 hours to 48 hours at least.
So can somebody call the the intake department on behalf of someone else, or does the person need to do that?
Generally, the person needs to call on their own, because the intake unit does ask very specific information about income and their sources of income and the household makeup, and sometimes people don't know that.
Okay.
And when people are calling about power of attorney, they especially don't want that individual in the room, because they want to make sure that somebody's not under duress and things like that. So it's usually better, if they can, for the individual to call themselves. There are Spanish speakers available on the intake line, so I wanted to make note of that as well. But if they can't, sometimes an adult child is calling for a parent that needs a will, and the parent is very ill and can't communicate. They will make special accommodations if necessary.
So do you get any or many elder abuse situations at all in regards to working with the person who might be abused?
We tend to not get many calls on elder abuse as far as physical abuse, but what we have seen is people taking someone's Social Security and not providing them, yes, and then, you know, there's no food in the house, and, you know, the representative payee who's getting the Social Security that is supposed to use it for the individual is not using it that way. When we get calls about other types of elder abuse, we usually refer them to Adult Protective Services because they're more equipped to handle that kind of situation.
And that's important to know, that, again, there's continuation of service,
yes,
or the inter-referrals.
Yeah, if there's a piece that we can help with, we'll help with that piece, and then we'll refer them out on the piece that we can't help with.
So is there a fee for the services for your office?
No, we don't charge a fee for seniors or non-seniors. There's no fee for our services at all.
So that's good to know. Again, they have to go through the process.
Right.
They need to know that. They have to answer the questions that the intake department asks.
Yes.
When they meet with the attorney, they need to be as prepared as they possibly can with whatever documentation.
Yes.
And they have to be patient in some respects.
Yes, because, you know, unfortunately, everybody's case is an emergency to them.
Absolutely.
But it doesn't necessarily fall under our office's definition of an emergency. An emergency in our office is someone that's getting evicted, that's going to be homeless in the next 48 hours. You may think being sued by a credit card is an emergency. If you're judgment proof, they can't get anything anyway, and we understand that people don't know that. So we try to be sensitive to everyone's situation and understand that a lot of people have never been in the court system before. They've never gotten court papers before, and it's nerve-wracking. So we try to be very sensitive to that.
So the last question that I really want to ask, and again, I'm really fascinated by all of the different pieces that people should know but don't know, because we've talked about a lot of the stuff, especially wills and living wills, and every time you go to the hospital or the doctor, they ask you that, and we either make believe we do and don't, but the other issue is that, especially the senior population that we work with, transportation is a huge issue about getting to you or to your office, or even to social services or any of the other providers. Do you make so-called house calls? Or how does that work?
Well, generally we don't do home visits to someone's individual unit, but a lot of our clients live in senior buildings. We will definitely go out to a senior building. Most of the senior buildings, I would say all of the senior buildings we've contacted have been very cooperative in providing us with a private room where we can meet with a senior if we needed to have a private meeting with them. We also have a very good relationship with the senior centers in the county. We visit them regularly, and if we needed to meet with a client there, they also will allow us to have a private meeting space to meet with a client there. And a lot of times, if all we're going to give is advice, for instance, on a debt collection case, maybe we just need to see the summons and complaint, a lot of that can be done by fax and email through the senior centers. A lot of the seniors have adult children that have access to email and fax, so the seniors absolutely, in most cases, do not have to travel to our office to receive services.
And again, because this is a new relationship for SCAN and you and your office, we would more than happy offer our services here too, or our facility.
That's great.
In case someone is able to get here and not any place else, we can always find a confidential area for you guys to meet.
That's good to know. Thank
that's
you.
Offer I'm making.
Good, thank you.
And then the other is, do you do any public education in regards to doing workshops or anything on any of those issues?
We're just starting now to do that. We've gotten some requests to do some workshops on tenants' rights, because there are a lot of myths out there. People think, you know, if you're a senior, you can't get evicted. If you have children, you can't get evicted. So there's a lot of these, you know, urban legends out there that we want to get out there and educate people on. So we do have a couple of things kind of in the works. There's no definite date yet, but there is something being worked out for us to do one at the courthouse. And also at, I believe, Community Affairs and Resources, which is in Asbury Park, has asked us to come out and hold some workshops there. So that's all in the works as well.
Okay, great. And again, we do public education classes through the at the Boscov department stores, so we'll keep you on the list, the short
Absolutely.
list. So one more time, how can someone get in touch with you and or your office as far as a phone number and website?
Okay, the centralized intake is 1-800-496-4570. That's Monday to Friday from 9 to 3. And our website is www.lsnj.org. SJLS for South Jersey Legal Services.
Perfect. So again, I want to take this opportunity to thank you for being here, and we're going to take a short break, and we'll be back in a few minutes.
Thank you.
Take it from me. Living with a chronic disease is no easy task, but I learned to better manage my health condition, and you can too. Take Control of Your Health is the chronic disease self-management program created by Stanford University. This fun, innovative course is now offered to all county residents. Diabetes, arthritis, heart disease, cancer. Take Control of Your Health gives proven strategies to manage these conditions and reclaim your life. See how nutrition, exercise, and various mind techniques can help you overcome depression, increase energy, and manage pain. You'll not only get this book when you participate, you'll also receive the guidance and support of others living with a chronic illness, just like you. Take control of your health in 6 short sessions.
Call the number on your screen to register or get further information at scannj.com. Brought to you by SCAN, Social Community Activities Network, with funding made available by the Monmouth County Office on Aging.
Welcome back. My name is Pat Bohse, and I am here with Andrea Tarr, who is the program director for SCAN, and she is the person who makes this place tick. So welcome.
Well, thank you, Pat. Good to be here as always.
So what's going on in SCAN?
I know, there's always something and then some. So let's see. Well, first of all, it's April, and I do want to remind everyone that the food bank is still will be doing taxes through their VITA program at the mall location right up until April 15th.
Yes.
So it's not, you can be a walk-in or you can make an appointment, whatever you like. So
So the Food Bank of Monmouth and Ocean County is a community partner of
Yes,
ours.
they are.
And they're also a sponsor, and we're loving the relationship.
Mm-hmm. Let's see what else is happening. Well, our spring-summer semester is going to start May 9th, so that's actually soon, and that will run through like the first week of August.
And so we're planning a lot of new, not necessarily one and done, but maybe 3 and done classes.
3 and done, okay.
We'll be bringing back Carl DiLorenzo, who will be doing some history classes. He's being asked to come back by popular demand.
Yes, he was so well received, and so we would love to have him back. So as soon as we find out what he's going to be, what his subjects were, we will definitely be publicizing that.
Great.
So that is really wonderful. And of course, on May 6th, we're doing our brain health fair at St. Andrew's Church on Church Road in Toms River.
So this is the first time, well, we are committed to venture into Ocean County in 2016 and provide some additional classes and services there. So this is our first biggie, so to speak.
And it will be a biggie, yeah.
And we're working with Community Service, Inc., who provide Meals on Wheels to the whole county and Ocean.
Yes.
They will be our co-sponsors for this wonderful event. We're hoping to have 200 plus people at the event. It'll be incredibly interactive. Besides having 2 presentations by very knowledgeable speakers, the participants will be able to wander inside and out and tease their brains.
Well, because it's such an enormous church and it's on a huge property, so it gives us the opportunity to really have a lot of activity going on there, inside and out. So it'll be similar to our brain health fair that we do here, but way, way, way bigger.
Yes.
It's going to be great, I think. And then on May 25th, we're going to have our general membership meeting, but we're doing it with a little bit of a twist. And we're going to have a speakers panel, and so who are the speakers?
So again, because we have done a strategic plan and we have 4 divisions now in SCAN, one being the hub, which is this our central location and our
Yes.
public education. The other being SCAN on Wheels, and that is us going into the community and bringing resources in our community
Right.
partner to underserved communities throughout Monmouth and Ocean counties.
And we're doing that.
And the other division is the information highway, which includes our TV shows. We're hoping to do some radio this year, and then also become incredibly proficient in social media, which I think is everybody's challenge right now. But what we are looking to do is develop a speakers bureau. We have a wonderful board of directors.
We do.
And they come with incredible credentials. So we are going to be taking out on the road, not only here, but on the road, some of our board members who represent the legal community, the financial community, and the aging community. And we're going to have our own speakers bureau and go wherever we're requested to provide good, trusted information on senior issues and legal issues, and without the fear or the need to think that there has to be something in receipt of that.
Right.
So we're excited.
And so this will be kind of a sampler of
It'll
what
be our first.
Our first, yeah. So that'll be great. We'll have that'll be wonderful. And let's see, what else is coming up, of course, is in June. It's not so far away. June 8th is our Take Control of Your Health Fair, our annual health fair. This time we're doing it in June. We've always done it in May.
Yep.
But once again, inside the mall, and always that attracts a lot of people.
Yeah, and besides doing, just medical and assisted living facilities and stuff like that, we were trying to invite the travel industry to come in, because what we do know is that our members love to travel, whether it's local trips or multiple day or international trips. So we want to get to know the travel industry and the travel world a lot better and have them become part of this SCAN family. And so we're hoping that they'll be part of our Take Control of Your Health Fair, because we have to keep the mind and the spirit healthy.
Yes, and I think that will add another level to the health fair. Let's see, I'll mention also that we've been, for a few semesters now, we've been doing TED Talks. And anyone who doesn't know what TED Talks are, these are typically, they're talks from people all around the world on every conceivable subject you can imagine. They're typically 15 to 20 minutes, no longer, and they could be funny, they could be inspirational. We've been doing them at least maybe 3 a semester. And so they've been very, very well received. And I would just mention to our listeners that maybe someone out there who would like to be a facilitator of a TED Talk or has an idea for something they'd like to see, they should contact us.
Yeah, and we're also looking for additional teachers and trainers.
Right, always looking for that.
Whether they want to present a one-day workshop or a series, that is something that we're really always looking for, and hoping to diversify our offerings here at SCAN. So I'm excited about our programs, and there's a lot of stuff going on and a lot of work to be done.
There's always a lot going on.
But I want to take this opportunity to thank you and the staff for the great stuff that you do. And if people would like to come and see us, please stop in and take a tour. Thank you.
How to locate SCAN. SCAN is easy to locate once you find the movie theater at Monmouth Mall. As you enter the parking lot from Route 35, the theater is almost directly ahead of you. Drive towards the theater, but go up along the left side into the parking lot. As you approach the end, you will see entrance number 3 on your right. Park and enter the building here. Once inside, you will see a staircase that only goes down. After passing through the doors at the bottom, turn to your left, and SCAN is right there.